So I was thinking today about potential topics for a YouTube video, and I started to get to thinking, what's a topic or what's one thing that I know beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt that could provide a lot of value to business owners. And I was going over my numbers in terms of conversations and just seeing that there's been over 500 conversations that have been had with business owners who are struggling with their marketing and struggling with getting leads, whether that's phone call conversations, one-off appointments, actual customers, Zoom calls, Zoom sales discovery calls, in person, whatever. Business owners that are struggling with marketing, this one thing, you can categorize it as even a belief around marketing, around lead generation, but also it's also behavioral too. It's not just a belief. And so this one thing across the board, beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, that business owners are struggling with when it comes to marketing is not copywriting, is not finding the right platform to market on, although both of those things I have seen issues with in some cases, but it's volume. And I'll get into more what I mean by that. But the typical conversation with a business owner, we get on the phone, we get on a Zoom call, whatever it looks like, and I start talking to them about what they're doing with their marketing right now. What channels are you marketing on, right? How are you promoting your business? What's coming in from word of mouth and referral? And a typical conversation might go like, oh, we're doing Google ads right now. I'll go, cool. What's your ad spend right now? And he goes, 250. 250 a day, 250 a month. And they get mad that they're not getting any results and spending $250 a month, right? You're not going to get anything done with $250 a month. And so the same goes for any other platform. Social media, how much are you posting? Oh, I'm posting once a week. I'm posting 3 times a week. You're not going to get anything done with 1 to 3 posts per week. The same could be said for SEO. The same could be said for video advertising, any channel, right? And it doesn't have to be the amount of money that you put in. It could also be the amount of time that you put in, right? Do not expect great results from subpar inputs. If your inputs are not equivalent to the amount of results that you want to get, whether that's amount of leads, amount of revenue per ad spend for whatever marketing you're putting in, if the amount of time or the amount of money you're putting in does not add up to the amount that you want to get out. And when I say add up, I don't mean exactly add up in terms of a dollar amount. I'm talking about the effort needed to get those results. And so when it comes to the topic of volume, again, most of these business owners are on the right channels. It's pretty easy to determine where your customers are going to be. Are your customers active on social media? Yes. Okay, cool. Advertise on social media. Are your customers actively searching your thing up into Google? Cool. Do SEO, do Google ads. It's a very simple problem that most people get right. They can advertise on those platforms. And when I say advertising, I'm just speaking broadly. That doesn't mean ad spend or spending money to promote ads. I'm just talking, that could be SEO, that could be social media, etc., whatever. But the problem is not what channel you're marketing on or what content you're putting out. Because generally speaking, if you're the business owner or you manage a marketing team, you know your customers. You know the customer profiles, or you have a good idea at least of what your customers are looking for. So you can create marketing material around those topics and around their problems. And that's simple. The problem that I see 90% of the time is you're not doing enough of it. There needs to be more. I remember when I started cold email marketing, I had sent around 100 emails and I got no responses. And I was like, this is cold email's dead. There's no space for cold email. This is such a waste of time. Until I joined an agency program where I started sending that amount of emails per day and then up to 1,000 emails per day. And then the results started flowing in from there. And so sometimes it just takes reframing the amount of effort that's needed to put in to your marketing to get better results out of it. If you're spending $250 a month on Google ads, and this of course depends on your industry, but let's just say the average ticket price for your product is between $10,000 to $30,000. If you're spending $250 a month on ads, you're not going to get any results or very minimal results. Now, if you're spending $2,500 a month or $25,000 a month, that's a little bit better, right? And if you don't have that amount of money, then don't do Google Ads. Spend your time doing something else where you can put the equation is not based off of a monetary value, it's based off of the time that you put in. So that can be social media or SEO. Both of those marketing channels require your time and not necessarily spend, unless you're outsourcing it. But in this case, we're talking about the time that you put in. If you're doing social media posts and you're doing 2 to 3 posts a week, do 2 to 3 posts every single day and multiple stories, right? The effort required is often so much more than you think it's going to be, but it's that effort, the marginal effort that you put in that is going to make the difference. Just like the story I told with cold email and how all it took was just reframing what was necessary, the amount of emails that had to be sent out every single day, and the work put into those emails to then split test, analyze the data to see what's working, what isn't working, testing out different hooks, different offers, different calls to action, etc. I won't get into the whole thing, but ultimately the increase in volume on that specific channel was what made a huge difference in the business and the amount of leads that we got to getting multiple leads every single day, right? We use different channels now, but on those channels, there is immense volume happening in terms of marketing compared to what was going on before. And to, I guess, reframe this in a different way that might make sense, the first year that I started, marketing, it was more freelancing, doing website design, that whole year I made about, I think it was $18,000. And that's what's coming into the business revenue-wise every single month now. And a big reason for that, one is because my team, and they're freaking awesome, but two is because there's so much more volume in terms of built up leads that are being re-engaged, customers, reoccurring revenue coming in, and of course the volume that's going into marketing. And what a lot of people don't recognize is that word of mouth and referral is also a channel for marketing. I'll say that again. Word of mouth and referral is also a channel for marketing. There are certain business owners who have this idea that we're getting a ton of word of mouth and referral, so we don't need to do any marketing. Well, you are doing marketing already by having a great product where people feel the need to tell their friends and their family and whoever else that this guy is so great, you should hire them to do XYZ thing or buy XYZ product, right? And so if word of mouth and referral is working for you right now, or if it's not working, go all in on that, right? Maybe you're not getting enough word of mouth and referral customers because A, your product could suck, or B, you're not asking enough of your customers to send you referrals. There's an idea, or I should say a belief, propagated amongst especially the niche that we serve, which is home service, that if you ask your customers for referrals, then you become needy, right? Or they're going to see that and it's going to just leave a bad taste, right? Which to some extent can be true if you do it in the wrong way or you do it too much, right? You never want to destroy goodwill with your clients. And every time you ask something of your clients, you destroy a little bit of goodwill. And so the question is then, how can we build up so much goodwill with our clients that making an ask like a referral doesn't even make a dent in the amount of goodwill that we have with them? And goodwill could be delivering an exceptional product. And by product, I'm kind of using that term loosely to mean product and service. But delivering an exceptional product, exceptional customer service, right? Sending them gifts, customer experience, like all these things. There's just this like huge ecosystem or like spider web of little touch points that you have with your customers or could be having with your customers that you are not, that add to that goodwill. It's almost like a bank account. You're just like depositing goodwill into it. Every single interaction with the customer. And what you can also do is purposely add more interactions with your customers so you can deposit more goodwill into that bank account. And it literally works. And so coming back to the main point here of going all in on word of mouth and referral marketing, because those leads are the warmest, they close the easiest, and they stay with you the longest. And so what can you do to increase that goodwill so that making that ask doesn't seem like a lot at all, right? And that's not a question that I'm going to answer for you here, because it's really up to you and your business. But some things that have worked for us is, yes, adding more touch points with our customers, it sounds kind of cheesy, but like being much more friendly with our customers and actually building a relationship with them of loyalty and of trust so that they like us, right? How many businesses do you interact with on a daily basis? It could be a restaurant, it could be a product that you buy or a service that you purchase, where you actually like the people and you would say that they're your friends. Not a lot. But if you can say the same thing about your customers, or your customers can say the same thing about you, then that is an easy thing to implement and an easy way to keep your customers for longer. And it sounds very, very like money grabby, but they pay you more money when you keep them longer. That's just how it works. And so I wouldn't say befriend your customers just for the sake of them paying you more money over a longer period of time, but it certainly helps. And so that's the one part, the relationship part. Two is the value add part, right? If we can have more touch points with our customers a week or multiple times a week where we're telling them what we're doing for them, that's our SEO services, web design. If they're connected to our projects in Jira so they can see the work that's being done, or when tasks are updated, that's a touch point right there. So that their decision to buy with us is constantly being reinforced. And again, we're depositing goodwill. If it's their birthday, sending them something on their birthday, right? There's so many of these little interactions in terms of value add that you can implement into your business for your own customers. It's just a question of asking yourself, okay, what service am I providing, or what product am I selling? And how can I increase the customer experience enough to where asking for a referral or word of mouth wouldn't make me feel bad at all? And in our case, we don't even ask for word of mouth customers or referral customers. We ask for testimonial videos, right? Testimonial videos are a huge part of what we do because they add so much value to potential customers coming on board or leads to where they can see the results that somebody else got, right? And so when we ask for those video testimonials, it doesn't seem like a really big ask at all because of the value that we've already provided and the relationship that we have with the customers, right? If you were to ask your friend or a family member to do something for you, would you feel bad about it? It's kind of a trick question because yes, you would feel bad about it if there was a discrepancy in the goodwill that you had built up with them. If they had a lot more goodwill built up with you and you asked them for something, you would not feel good about that thing. For example, if your friend always gives you rides somewhere, anywhere, right? They're always the one driving, they're paying for the gas money, etc., and you need a ride somewhere, you text them, hey, can I get a ride here? And they say yes, whatever. That's great, but you're not going to feel very good about it. However, if it was flipped and you constantly gave them rides and then you asked them for a ride, you wouldn't feel very bad about it at all, right? So that's kind of the concept there with word of mouth marketing and when it comes to referrals as well. So the big point here is whatever channel you're marketing on, go all in on it. Do more volume. Try something for the next 30 days, 10x the amount of volume that you're doing currently on that channel. If you're spending, let's say you're doing SEO on your website. If you're spending an hour a week, spend 10 hours a week for the next 30 days on your website. If you're doing social media posts and you do, let's say a post a day, do 10 posts a day and do some stories as well. Like do 10x the amount of volume for the next 30 days and see what happens to your business. And I guess to finish off the video, a smaller niche problem that I've seen as well, not as consistently as the volume problem, but it's still there, is splitting your attention for marketing into multiple channels. This is more pervasive with small businesses who are just starting out. But doing like SEO, doing Google Ads, doing social media all at the same time, either you're spending your time doing those channels or you're outsourcing really cheap labor to do those channels for you. In both cases, you're going to get extremely subpar results, like extremely subpar. And the reason for that is because there might be some volume going out on each channel, but the quality of that content decreases substantially. And so if I can make one suggestion, if you fit into that bucket, to stick to one marketing channel and one marketing channel alone, that way you can spend all of your time and all of your effort increasing the volume, upping the volume as much as possible on that one channel, rather than splitting your time and attention. It's kind of like the lesson on side hustles or side businesses, right? Having like 5 to 6 different businesses at one time. All of them are going to do very mediocre numbers, rather than if you would just have one business. So I hope this video gave you some value and some insight into the most pervasive problem that I've seen over hundreds of conversations with business owners, where it's at a point where it just constantly keeps coming up. And the ways that it come up are so funny, because these business owners are so surprised that they're not getting results, or they're frustrated that they're not getting enough leads coming in and they need more leads. And they had this expectation that they could hire an agency for, $500, $1,000 a month and get some crazy results in the short term. When in reality, that's not how it works at all. If you want to get stellar results, you need stellar effort. And I don't see stellar effort being put in to your own marketing channels. And so if you fit into that category, or that sounds like you, then hey, consider upping the volume. See what happens over the next 30 days if you just 10x your volume. That would be my biggest piece of advice for business owners today. So if you got any value from this video, feel free to subscribe. See how it feels.